Hey, what's up, everyone? It's so good to have you join us as we kick off a new series for our Wednesday Wisdom. For the next couple of months, we're going to be going through the book of Proverbs. Proverbs is an incredible book in the Old Testament. It's part of the wisdom literature. Really, it's right there in the middle of the book. You go to Psalms, take a right, and right there is Proverbs. You see, Proverbs is 31 chapters, just jam-packed full of great wisdom. It was actually written by David's son, David and Goliath, his son Salomon. And what's incredible about Solomon, he certainly had his shortcomings, but in, his First Kings, in a moment, God asked Solomon, whatever you want, it's yours. Your dad was awesome. I'm going to reward you. And in effect, Solomon said, hey, give me an understanding mind. Give me wisdom. It was the thing that Solomon asked for. And so Solomon took a lot of that wisdom and he wrote it down in Proverbs. Now, Proverbs is, it's 31 chapters. And so a great practice would be to read a chapter of Proverbs a day. We're excited because these are just kind of short snippets of wisdom that you can apply to your life. You don't have to think much through them. You don't have to do context or think through the lens of different time periods or any of that. Like, it's simple 1 or 2-liner, 3-liner things that are like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And so we couldn't be more excited. We've named the series Pit Stops in Proverbs because they're just, it's just like a race, right? You're not going to make it to the end of the race without pit stops. And these are great pit stops to jump in midday and read a chapter in Proverbs. You just never know how God's going to speak to you. And so couldn't be more excited to jump in and share some of that with you. And in fact, today I'm going to just jump into Proverbs 1 and lay a foundation for where we're headed and really for the whole book. You see, Proverbs 1, Solomon starts out to know wisdom and instruction, to understand words of insight, to receive instruction in wise dealing, in righteousness, justice, and equity, to give prudence to the simple, knowledge and discretion to the youth. Let the wise hear, increase in learning. Let the one who understands obtain guidance, to understand a proverb and a saying, the words of the wise and their riddles. And get this, verse 7 is the foundation for the entire book. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. Fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fear of the Lord. It's interesting because we came across, that's an incredible statement that's throughout Scripture. And my son, my 9-year-old, read that and he's like, Dad, I don't understand. What does it mean to fear the Lord? Why should we fear God? And so it was an interesting perspective for him because as he's driving, right, he's racing go-karts. One of the things that we talk a lot about is fear. You got to push through fear. If somebody's in front of you, you got to push through fear and get by them. Or if you're in a situation, you get scared, you got to push through fear sometimes in life. And so as we're talking, he couldn't understand, like, I thought God is great and we shouldn't fear God. And of course, God is awesome. But the way that I explained a reverent fear is to be in awe of his power, to be in awe of the position, to be in awe of who God is. And so one of the things he wants to be is a fighter pilot. He is dead set. That's what his goal in life is. And man, I hope that's the Lord's purpose for his life. But I explained it like this. If you've ever seen the Blue Angels, one of the things that they do during their routine is one of the jets kind of gets lost. He goes away and you don't see him for a while. He goes off in the distance and flies around, does his own thing. And then out of nowhere, there's a calm. And that jet that was once lost comes flying right overhead, super fast, super loud, and it shocks your system. It's so scary. And I said, the fear of the Lord is like that. Like, you're not scared of them hurting you. You're not scared of those planes shooting at you or dropping bombs. There's this awe of the power that a fighter jet has. And that's what it means to fear the Lord. And as Solomon says, that's the beginning of wisdom. That's where wisdom begins, is when we approach God with this reverent awe to say, God, you are big. God, you are good. Like, that's when we can really begin to understand wisdom. And I'm not talking about just being smart, right? There's a lot of super smart people that are way smarter than I'll ever be that don't know God. They're book smart. They can make rockets and self-driving cars and all that stuff. I'm talking about wisdom. Totally different. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Now, one thing that caught my attention about this, and this is, the thing that I love about Scripture is it's very timely because it's very timeless. We like to get arrogant, right? We like to think that we've evolved over the years as people. And to be honest, we haven't really evolved because people haven't changed a whole lot. It says right here, fools despise wisdom and instruction. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. And if that's not a snapshot of the reality of our lives right now, I don't know what is. What was it? 3 weeks ago, a man got shot because people didn't like wisdom. A man that would engage people in conversation and would engage people in wisdom, and they killed him. Fools despise wisdom. I think this day and age, it's so easy to get sucked into arguing on Facebook, on social media, online. It's just dumb. I got hate messages from people because we as a ministry didn't put out some big post about how we feel about Charlie Kirk. When instead of being on Facebook, I was busy fielding calls from people that God's called us to serve, helping them navigate the situation. So I was busy pastoring people rather than spending time on social media. I think we as a people, we've got to grow in wisdom. We've got to grow in wisdom. And that's one thing I love about Proverbs. Proverbs is a great way to do that. There is nothing in Proverbs that if you don't apply to your life will make your life better. It doesn't matter if it's relational wisdom, financial wisdom, just wisdom about who God is and His character and how you can apply those things to your life. I'm telling you, you will be much better on the back end. And so I want to invite you to come on this journey with us, and we're going to have different speakers each week to offer their insights over the book of Proverbs. And I want to challenge you. There's a new month starting. October 1st is, tomorrow. It's in a couple of days or something. Start on October 1st and read Proverbs 1 on October 1st. Read Proverbs 2 on October 2nd, and all the way through to Halloween, reading Proverbs 31 on Halloween. Trust me, when you get to November 1st, you're going to want to do it again. There's so much good stuff in Proverbs. Don't miss out. Join us on this journey, the pit stops in Proverbs. Hey, y'all, have a great Wednesday. We'll see you back next week.